Hello once again. Today we're going to be looking at the very important thing called bullet patterns. Bullet patterns are what really makes up a Housemarque game. A lot of us really love this kind of intense bullet hell environment, and in Ex Machina we're doing things a bit different. So that's one thing that we really need to look at and understand. Another thing is the level composition, how you move to the next level from one another, and then how you see overall all these secret levels and everything. And one more thing that we're going to be talking about is the enemies. So enemy design is always front and center. We've been making these kind of games for a long time, so we have a good understanding of what makes up very interesting enemy patterns. So that's really bullet patterns, enemy patterns, and then how the levels are made up. Let's go talk to our guy for more information. Let's talk about levels and level structure, yeah? So one of the things I really liked about Ex Machina is that you can actually see these next levels that you're about to play. What was the thinking behind that?
Yeah, we went through plenty of iterations in that. We started off like having much more space in between levels, but we noticed that it felt much more interesting and immediate to always see the next level that you're about to go to.
Right.
And it made the world feel a lot more believable.
And connected.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Also, there's secret levels in the mix, and you can see those.
Yeah, we have this special type of visual language for all the secret levels, which acts as a tease, like, oh, okay, how would I get there?
Right,
and stuff like that. So we're trying to like evoke questions and make you find the secret triggers so that you can actually access them.
So there's always this little hinting in the background, like, oh, this is the next level, and hey, what's over there? That might be an area that I haven't explored yet. So it makes you think and go back. What about the bullet patterns? That's a big thing. For example, in Resogun, there was a lot of different bullet hell elements. How does that work in Ex Machina? Is there any differentiation?
We kind of figured at one point in this that we want each world to feel like its own place and provide very different challenges, because that makes it a lot easier to understand for the player. Like, okay, like whenever I go to a room and I see this turret enemy, I know what kind of beam it will shoot. It won't shoot bullets at one room and it won't shoot wavy bullets in another. There's always something that you can like count on.
So each level has sort of a theme to their bullet patterns, and then you can kind of learn the tricks on how to beat each level according to what the theme happens to be.
We figured that every single enemy needs to have a role and a place, and the clearer the role is, the easier it is to, for example, find out what we're missing in a world and what kind of gameplay we want to a world to include.
So there's smaller enemies, there's bigger enemies. You call the smaller enemies are like popcorn enemies or something?
Yeah, they're one-hit kills, and the bigger ones, of course, take a lot more beating. Right. And for example, the shooting enemies, those provide a completely different gameplay as well, because it always pulls you to them, because they don't have to move, they can shoot you. So that always makes you go to them, and we can like sprinkle them in a way that like we're like making the player navigate and make his like own decisions, like, okay, do I want to take care of the shooting enemy now or later?
Do you plan these, or do you just put a lot in there? Is it already that you have a lot of knowledge from past, or how does this come by?
I would say like it's a mixture, because like you can never like do proper paper design. You always need to like actually see how it feels.
So it's kind of intuition mixed with just testing a lot of combinations.
Of course, we have our like own ideas about how things will work, but of course that's the main thing, that you need to have the patience to test them out and like see what they can provide to the overall gameplay. For example, when the turret shoots at the wall, it will split the room in two.
Right.
And
so
after that,
divider.
yes, after that you need to dash through the beam or take care of the turret and give yourself a bit more breathing room in the level. So it's like these micro decisions that you need to make in order to...
So if you don't shoot the turret, you know you're going to have to dash through a lot. And if you shoot the turret, you can just run around, but you might have more enemies on your ass at that point, so it becomes more hectic that way. So there's always first decision, next decision, and so on.
Then it's much more easier or satisfying for the player as well, because it's very apparent what's required of you in this situation. and the decisions that you make will become much more apparent. Whereas if you have 3 enemies of the different color, but they have the same silhouette and almost the same behavior, then it's kind of like...
It's hard to approach.
Yeah, you don't really know what's required of you or what the enemies are supposed to do.
Right, so in the end, with let's say, something that may look less complex, we get a lot of straightforward complexity. You get a better understanding of the overall environment and behavior of these enemies, and hopefully that's exactly what makes it for satisfying gameplay. Okay, thank you. Very interesting to hear about the enemies and all the learnings we've had from Resogun and other games. Can't wait to see how everything plays out in the end.
Likewise.
So that's it. A lot of bullets, a lot of enemies, a lot of cool things happening. Next Machina is coming out soon, so stay tuned for more.